Welcome to another video for Design 101 at Ivy Tech Community College. In this video, we're going to be working through our second isometric drawing exercise, which you can see here. And if you need a copy of this, you can download it from our Blackboard folder under the Week by Week tab. And you can see right here, it's AutoCAD Isometric Drawing Homework number 2. So just click on that PDF and it will open up like this. So we're going to work through drawing this together in AutoCAD. And I'm going to assume that you already have all the settings ready to go from our previous video. So last video I showed you how to create this one. So if you need all the settings again, go back and watch the beginning of this video again, because I'm just going to assume that you have everything set up and ready to go like we did on the other drawing. So to start with, I'm going to go ahead and draw out the left isoplane of this shape, which is going to be 5 down, 6 over, 3 up, 4 back, 2 up, 3 back. Okay, so we're going to start by going down 5 and over 6. So I'm going to go back to my line tool, make sure you're in the isometric mode. I'm going to go down 5, zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to go down at 330 degrees, 6 units. And I'll go up 3, back 3, up 2, back 3. So up 3, back 3, up 2, and back 3. And that should put you back at the beginning if you did it right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit escape a couple of times. And that was in the left isoplane. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the top isoplane now, which will be up here. And I'm going to draw this section that you see here. So I'll go 3, 2, 3, 2 to start with. So hitting F5 a couple of times, I'm going to toggle to my top isoplane. I've already got the line here that's 3. So I'm going to go over 2, down 3, back over 2, and then checking with my drawing again. I'm going to go back up 6 and back down 4. So at 150 degrees, I'll go back 6 units and then down 4, which should again put me right back at the beginning. So looking at my drawing again, at this point I'm really kind of stuck with having to draw this semicircle, and this is really one extra trick that's called an isocircle in AutoCAD. So not everything that you draw is going to be a straight line. Eventually you're going to have to run into something like this that is an arc. And this one's a little bit tricky because it's not even a complete circle, it's really a fourth of a circle. But the problem with this in AutoCAD is that I can't just draw a regular circle. You'll notice if I draw a circle at this location, it doesn't really look right. And the reason is that it's not isometrically skewed like the rest of the drawing is if I just use the regular circle tool. You have to use a special feature in AutoCAD called the isocircle. And the isocircle is actually a sub-function of the ellipse command, or what most people would call an oval. So if I drop down the ellipse command up here, there's an ellipse tool called axis end that I'm going to choose. And once you choose the axis end ellipse, down in your command line, AutoCAD is going to give you an option for isocircle. So I'm going to click that, or you can type I on the keyboard and hit enter. I'm going to click isocircle, and it says specify the center of the isocircle. So the center of that is going to be right here. And then it will say specify the radius of the isocircle or the diameter. But you can see here that I've got a little bit of a problem. I forgot to switch my isoplane to match up with this isocircle. So at this point it's drawing a circle, but it's drawing it from the viewpoint of the top isoplane. This is easily fixed in AutoCAD because you can actually change your isoplane on the fly, which is really useful for something like this. So I'm just going to hit F5 while I'm in this isoplane command. And you'll notice as I hit F5, there's the left isoplane, top, right. The one that I actually need is the right isoplane. And I can either key in the size or just click right here, and it will draw that isoplane. Now I don't want the whole thing like we said. I only want this piece right here. So I'm going to show you a trick to get rid of the rest of this. We're going to do what's called trimming. And up here at the top is the trim tool. You can also type in trim down on the command line. So you can either hit it up here or just type in trim and hit enter. And once I've hit enter or pick the trim tool up here, I'm going to come into my drawing window and I'm just going to do one right click. And what that does is it turns everything into my drawing as a trimmable line. So basically when I right click, that means I can trim out any line segment that I want to. So pick your trim tool, do one right click. Now I'm going to do a left click to get rid of anything that I don't want. So I'm going to trim out this part and this part. And notice it trims back to wherever the next intersection point is. So I'm going to keep this section and then hit escape to end the trim command because I'm done with that. Then going back to our drawing, I actually need another arc right here. So if you wanted to go through that painful process of redoing all that, you could, but I'll show you an easier way to do that. What I can actually do is take this point and copy it over to here. That way I don't have to redo that whole process a second time. So I'm going to click on this arc that we just drew, and I'm going to go to my copy tool. Right here, it's a white circle that's been copied into two blue circles, or you can just type copy or Control C. But I'm going to hit copy, and it says specify a base point, or basically where are you copying from, and you can see what I'm copying is highlighted in blue here. So I'm going to pick this up here as my copy point, and the reason I'm going to pick that is because I can then click down here as my base point where I'm copying to. So here's my base point, my second point where I'm copying to, and I'll come down here and click this point, and you can see that puts it in the exact correct location. I could also pick this as my base point and this as my second point and copy from the bottom of the arc instead of the top. And from that point I can continue making more copies if I needed to. I could just click endless number of points and make tons and tons of copies of this, but I don't need to, so I'm going to hit escape. And now we can go, since we're already on our right isoplane, and finish out the rest of this object on the right hand side. So I'm going to go back 6 in this direction, then up 2, and then work our way back to the beginning. So I'm going to grab my line tool, I'm going to go back 6, up 2, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 2, and then last I'll hit escape and go back to the line tool again and just add in these 30-degree lines back to where they hit, and then just double check against the drawing to make sure I got it all. And everything there looks good. So that's a couple other tricks you can use: the trim tool, the copy tool, and most importantly, the ISO circle tool, because without the ISO circle tool, it's really not possible to finish this drawing in AutoCAD. You have to know how to do the ISO circles. So that's a couple more tricks for you on isometric drawings, and I'll leave the rest of this one up to you to try on your own. If you have any questions, you can email me, jhamilton83@ivtech.edu. Stop by my office, T316 on the 3rd floor of the technology building. Give it a try on your own. Good luck, and I'll see you in class.